This is the video review for Transformers Prime Robots in Disguise Revealer Class Vehicon. And this guy is really cool. Now before I really get into the figure, I do want to apologize if any parts of the video get overblown, like especially my hands. I'm trying to make sure that because this is a dark figure, that as much detail gets caught on camera as possible. Because a lot of the video reviews I've seen of this guy so far, they just don't really show off how nice he really looks. Like, there's this bright sort of neon pink that's easy to see. But in robot mode, this much darker purple, and a lot of the video reviews I've seen, it melts into the black so easily, and I really want to show it off because he has a really nice color scheme that looks really good and has a decent amount of contrast, but if you don't have the right lighting, it can be hard to see that. So, to begin, the vehicle mode, it is a little bit small. I do wish it were bigger, but that's the way of the things these days. So, because of how cool this figure actually ends up being, I can forgive it. It does have some trouble rolling. It has the same problem as Knockout because if you look in there, you can see that when I turn the wheel, a clip-like mechanism is turning inside of there. The wheel just snaps in there. It's not pinned on. And the problem with that is it means that there's a lot more friction when the toy rolls around. But on the other hand, it also means that there won't be any errors with pinning, because I've had a lot of figures where so the wheel has been pinned on, but the pin was put in at an angle, so one wheel ends up being lower. This does solve that problem, so I have mixed feelings about it. I wish they would use maybe a plastic that has less friction. Like, I know that there are some plastics that have really low friction. I wish maybe they would use those, but I don't know what other properties those plastics have. So continuing on, it's a nice car mode, but the weapon really doesn't have any place on it. Any place that you put the weapon is just going to make it look ugly. You put it on the side, well, maybe if you had two guns and they were symmetrical, which the gun is not symmetrical, it would look nice. Maybe, no, there's not really any other place you can put it but the sides. It's just, the gun actually works kind of well in robot mode, although these bits right here do get in the way a little bit. I'll show you what I mean later, but the gun in car mode is pretty worthless. So one last look at the car. And let's get to the transformation. What you want to do is you want to pull these door slats off. Like this. And like this. And then bring these apart. That will free up this whole hood section. You'll fold it all down. And at first when I got this guy, I tried to just fold everything up at once, but that doesn't quite work because a lot of these hinges are at angles, they're not just straight through. And I am a little bit disappointed by that, because if they were all just straight through, you could just fold these up all real fast. And I feel that would have made the transformation a bit more clean. But I'm not really complaining because the overall transformation is very cool. You just fold all of this up, and then you take this part right here, fold the toe out, and clip it together. And that is very cool. I love that transformation. That is really cool. So just fold it up, fold it up, fold it up, pull the toe out, and pull the shin down. And there you have the legs. Now the instructions show that you can rotate these bits back. Honestly, I don't notice too much of a difference between how it looks. Neither of them look more or less show accurate to me. Maybe I'm misremembering the character model, but they both look about the same to me. They both look as good to me. But I do notice that when I'm handling the figure, oftentimes my finger just pushes this back into the vehicle mode position, so I just tend to leave into the vehicle mode position. Next what we're going to do is we're going to take this bit right here, we're going to pull it up, which will bring the head out, then we'll fold it onto his back. Next we'll take the arms, we will fold out the hands, we will bend the arms down like this, bring the arms around, 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 and just straighten them all out. For such a tiny car, he does get quite tall. I am very pleased about that aspect of this figure. So again, fold the hand out, fold the arm down, around, and around, and here we have Vehicon in robot mode. Now, one thing I do want to point out is that when his legs are straight, his feet are bent at an angle. So to get him to stand up really straight, you have to bring his legs way back and give him kind of the same kind of posture that a lot of animated figures have, where they thrust out their pelvis. So I am a little bit... The way the feet end up being is a little bit disconcerting, but it doesn't end up ruining the figure. I can stand it. It's just kind of strange. Now, it does end up giving him kind of a dynamic posture, which is quite nice, but I suppose I'm complaining about nothing. The feet are adequate. Now, for posability, the head can rotate left, right, a little bit up, a fair amount down. The arms can rotate around this ball joint and go in and out. They can rotate up and down on this hinge and the ball joint. They can rotate above the elbow. They can rotate out here at the elbow, and then there's a ball joint here, which basically acts as the elbow, and the wrist can swivel. Now, the way these things are all jointed, you can just use as a normal arm, but you can end up getting some fairly strange poses out of it. It's a very interesting way of doing the joints, because depending on how you do it, the different joints act in different ways. You can just kind of see what I'm doing with these joints. It's... To really understand the full flexibility of these joints, you have to see it in hand, but just looking at them, I think you can get some ideas of what could be done with these. And then there's no waist joint, which honestly is a little strange, because his transformation wouldn't impede that. Now, I normally don't like waist joints on car transformers because it makes them hard to balance on all four wheels, so that's not a bad thing for me that it doesn't have a waist joint, but I know some people will be kind of miffed about that. Legs go forward, back, in, out, rotate above the thigh, or above the knee, although some of the detailing here will bump into stuff, and then he'll bend 90 degrees at the knee, and then the toe can bend around. So you do get a fair amount of articulation out of this guy. The arms can... You will have to put some effort into making the arms not look strange, partially because they're just out at an angle a bit. Now, I don't quite mind that so much because the overall figure is very nice, but the arms could be just a little bit better. I feel like they put a little bit too much effort into making the arms unique, so to say. Now, the only thing left we have to go over is his weapon. And the weapon, the way it integrates into robot mode is quite nice. If you fold in the hand, you can clip it onto this bit right here. It's a little bit hard to clip it on, but once you get it, you got it. And there. And for the most part, I think that looks nice, but it doesn't quite look like it's integrated with the arm. It just looks like he's holding it, but the hand is hidden by the gun. So what I like to do is I like to actually plug it into his hand right here. And this is something that I saw when I saw Optibotimus. Well, is it the Bolt Matrix or Optibotimus? I think it was Optibotimus' review of this guy. Now, unfortunately, no, it wasn't these pieces that I meant to complain about. It's actually this clip bit right here that clips here. I really don't care about the clip gimmick here. What I really want is for it to be able to clip in here without it being at an angle, because I think this integrates with the arm much better. So yeah, this is the figure. Let me give you a quick 360 of him. He is very kibble-free, very nice, and what little kibble he does have tends to stay out of the way. So I do highly recommend this figure. He is a really cool figure, and if you can find him, and I know that people are having lots of trouble finding him, I do recommend getting him. And luckily it seems like his eBay prices are going down. Like a couple weeks ago he was up to $100, now he seems to be down to around $30 to $40. I was lucky enough to find him in stores. Your luck may vary. I reviewed Transformers, Marvel figures, Power Rangers figures, Men in Black figures. If any of that sounds interesting to you, please subscribe. Thank you for watching.